Hi everyone, and thank you for being here. Today I will be presenting a policy proposal focused on using constructed wetlands as a nature-based solution to improve water quality and climate resilience in southern Nevada, specifically by targeting pollution in Lake Mead from the Las Vegas wash. Let's dive into why this is urgently needed and how it can work. Lake Mead is facing serious environmental challenges, largely driven by nutrient-rich water flowing from the Las Vegas wash. And this runoff triggers eutrophication and harmful algal blooms, which degrades water quality, increases greenhouse gas emissions, and poses health risks to humans and animals alike. As the main reservoir in the region, Lake Mead's vulnerability requires immediate action, not just technical, but nature-aligned solutions. My proposal is a three-part policy package that uses constructed wetlands at the Las Vegas wash to intercept pollutants and store carbon. These three policies are Wetland Implementation Mandate, Green Infrastructure Incentive Program, and Carbon Credit Program. Together, they offer a realistic path to protect water quality and lower emissions and create economic and social benefits. Policy 1 would require agencies like the SNWA to install constructed wetlands and as the final stage of water treatment. These wetlands filter nitrogen and phosphorus before the water enters into Lake Mead and also sequester carbon in plants and soils. And while there are upfront costs, they're balanced by the long-term benefits like carbon credits and cleaner water and lower downstream treatment costs. The second policy would help fund wetland construction using state and federal grants. Compared to conventional treatment upgrades, wetlands are often more cost-effective and provide additional recreational and aesthetic value. This approach not only improves infrastructure but also builds public support and community pride. The third policy would create a carbon credit revenue stream by rewarding wetland projects for verified carbon sequestration using platforms like Vera did in 2025. Wetlands reduce emissions of methane and nitrous oxide, and they store carbon reliably. Those credits can offer cities and utilities a climate-aligned financial incentive to support long-term maintenance and operation. This package is feasible from an engineering and governance standpoint. The SNWA and the City of Las Vegas already collaborate on water planning, and wetlands can be added to existing infrastructure with minimal conflict, and stakeholders, from residents to business, benefit from clean water, green spaces, job creation, reduced treatment costs, and opportunities for citizen science and education. The climate benefits of constructed wetlands are significant and measurable. U.S. freshwater wetlands sequester about 0.5 megatons of carbon per year per acre, and with added avoided emissions, pushing that up to 0.7 megatons of carbon per year. Over 50 years, that's up to 35 megatons of carbon per year. And the technologies like aeration and biochar can improve pollution removal by over 90%, boosting both climate and water quality outcomes. In closing, this policy package supports SNWA's goals and positions Las Vegas as a leader in sustainable water management. With constructed wetlands at the Las Vegas Wash, we can protect Lake Mead, cut emissions, generate carbon credits, improve public spaces, and inspire arid cities to follow suit. This is a replicable, future-facing solution. Thank you so much. Here are my references for this presentation, and I would like to go ahead and open the floor to questions now. I see that I have this question posed. How should the SNWA think about funding this major policy package in the context of federal rollbacks and freezes on climate-oriented funding sources, such as the IRA bill? Please be more explicit with ideas for how this might be funded. It's an excellent question. Funding is understandably one of the most challenging aspects of this proposal, especially in the current climate, where federal support through programs like IRA and BIL is becoming less reliable. To adapt, I propose a diversified funding strategy. Locally, we could reallocate small portions of municipal funds and modestly adjust luxury item taxes such as alcohol and tobacco, or even a fractional increase in casino taxes in Las Vegas. That would be narrowly targeted and politically feasible if tied directly to regional water protection. At the community level, we can look to successful models like Watson Riparian Preserve over here in Arizona, where volunteers and nonprofits significantly reduced the implementation costs. Here in Las Vegas, community-led stewardship and citizen science programs could provide similar support while also fostering public buy-in. Beyond that, we can pursue state environmental grants, philanthropic support, or even crowdfunding campaigns to support the effort and diversify our funding sources. This will ensure resilience in the face of federal uncertainty and aligns with both community values and long-term sustainability goals. Moving on to the second question, are there climate action plans or other key documents published by the SNWA that indicate their goals? And please cite and refer to those materials directly and convince that we're building off of your interests. Absolutely, that's quite rational. This proposal builds directly on the SNWA's priorities and long-term management of the Las Vegas Wash. The most recent Las Vegas Wash Wildlife Plan from 2008, available to the public, that is, emphasized a hands-off restoration approach. Since then, however, we've seen new challenges according to the spread of invasive species like salt cedar, Tamarix ramosacea, and the introduction of Tamarix beetles, cited from the SNWA's site itself in 2025. These conditions have led to increased use of mechanical and chemical control, which, while sometimes necessary, risks soil degradation and water contamination, as studies have shown by Rashid al. 2010 and Sherry al. 2017. And in response, this proposal aims to evolve SNWA's original plan by introducing constructed wetlands as a more ecological, long-term solution. These wetlands align with the completed efforts like the 21 weirs already built to combat erosion, effectively supporting wetland establishment in precisely the same locations. Rather than reinventing the wheel, this approach enhances existing infrastructure, modernizes the SNWA's strategy, and advances their goals of protecting water quality, habitat, and public health in a climate-smart way. Question 3 is, can you contextualize your estimated carbon benefit? What would be a reasonable number of acres impacted by this policy? If constructed wetlands were built across those acres, how much total carbon might they sequester over X amount of years? And can you compare that total to something graspable, like That's as much carbon as X amount of cars over the course of 1 year. Absolutely. Let's put the carbon benefits in context, shall we? Based on peer-reviewed estimates, constructed wetlands sequester about 0.7 megatons of carbon per acre per year, including both carbon uptake and avoided emissions of nutrients. Now, if we apply that to just 2,000 of the acres around the wetland habitat along the Las Vegas Wash, we're looking at a 1,400 metric ton of CO2 equivalent a year. According to the EPA, an average U.S. passenger vehicle emits around 4.6 metric tons of carbon a year from the EPA this year, 2025. And that means that this project would offset the emissions of more than 300 cars annually. And over 5 years, that's impacted to grow 1,500 cars worth of emissions avoided and sequestered. These are meaningful, quantifiable benefits, and with enhancements like biochar and aeration, the efficiency of nutrient removal and therefore climate impact could be even greater. This makes constructed wetlands not only a water treatment solution, but a carbon mitigation tool that's measurable, scalable, and deeply relevant to Nevada's climate goals. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate your time, and I cannot thank you enough.